A Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakachodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved from the Bava Kalab, from the GMS UK line of forecasters camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So I'm going to play a video here, which Lord willing will be edifying to the elect. Now, this is a video that I came across years ago. Well, yeah, this was posted. Let's see, this was posted 3 years ago, I think it says. Let me check that. But I'm sure I saw this in like 2013, around that kind of time. So maybe this is a re-upload, but yeah, it's a very old video. But at the time, I saw this because back when I was researching the truth, you search all kinds of stuff out. Somehow this found its way into my YouTube suggestions, and I watched it. And at the time, I forgot to save it, but it just popped up on my timeline again, and I watched it. I thought, oh, this is the video I saw years ago. So I'm going to do a lesson on it now, and Lord willing, it will be edifying. So let me play this clip, and we'll break it down with some precepts.
My name is Montague William III, and what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and the big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife. We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars, fashion, plasma TVs. I remember it clearly how all this began. Family secrets from father to son. Inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you peasant people lie sleeping at night in your bed. We control the money that controls your lives. Whilst you worship false idols and don't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun. These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets, safe in the knowledge that I have it all, while you common people are losing your jobs. You see, I just hold you in utter contempt. But the smile on my face, well, it makes me exempt. For I have the weapon of global TV, which gives us connection and invites empathy. You would really believe that we look out for you, while we bankers and brokers are only a few. But if you saw that, you'd take back power. Hence, daily terrors to make you all cower. The panics, the crashes, the wars, the illness that keep you from finding your spiritual goals. We rig the game, and we buy out both sides to keep you enslaved in your pitiful lives. So, go out and work as your body clock fades. And when it's all over, a few years from the grave, you'll look back on all this, and just then you'll see that your life was nothing. Mere fantasy. There are very few things that we don't now control. To have lawyers and police force was always a goal, doing our bidding while you march on the street. But they never realize that they're only just sheep. For real power resides in the hands of a few. You voted for parties. What more can you do? But what you don't know is they're one and the same. Old Gordon has passed, but old David the reins. And you'll follow the leader who was put there by you. But your blood, it runs red, while our blood runs blue. But you simply don't see it's all part of the game. Another distraction, like money, fame. Get ready for wars in the name of the free. Vaccinations for illness that will never be. The assault on your children's impressionable minds. And a microchipped world. You'll put up no fight. Information suppression will keep you in tow. Depopulation of peasants was always our goal. But eugenics was not what we hoped it would be. Oh yeah, it was us that funded Nazis. But as long as we own all the media too, what's really happening does not concern you. So just go on watching your plasma TV, and the world will be run by the ones you can't see.
Now, you could say that guy was an actor, because it said at the end there he was acting a part, but at the same time there was a lot of truth in plain sight there. He basically outlined the whole agenda of the elites and how they're fulfilling their agenda by keeping all the people suppressed and ignorant to what's really going on in the world while they continue to build towards their new world order. So yeah, I do believe I saw this around 2013, and he kind of gave it away there because he mentioned two prime ministers. The prime minister he mentioned was Gordon Brown, and he said he'd given the reins over to David Cameron. So yeah, this must have been made, let's say, at the end of between the end of 2008 up to between 2008 and 2013, because that's when Gordon Brown was in office. I think Gordon Brown came out of office in 2009. Let's check that. Let's see what we can do. Bear with me a second. Yeah, so I just did a Google search checking on the dates when Gordon Brown was Prime Minister, and I was right. So he served as Prime Minister from 27th of June 2007 up to the 11th of May 2010. So yeah, I did see this video years ago, because as I said, this guy mentioned Gordon Brown handing the reins over to David Cameron, or I should say David Scameron. But the fact of the matter is that what this guy said here has rung true. He mentioned VCs, how do you say it? The V word for the C thing. You know, V's that you'll never need. Or didn't that happen in the whole scamdemic? I've got to be very careful about how I word these things because YouTube will clip the video otherwise. But basically, as I said, everything that this guy has said has pretty much rung true as to how the world has progressed. So this video, yes, while it was made in probably between 2010 to 2013, here we are in 2026 and everything this guy said has rung true. So I don't know who this guy is, if he's an insider, an elite or not. But it doesn't change the fact that what he said is basically how the world has progressed according to the agenda of the elite. So I don't know who this guy is, but he seems to have done his homework. Let's see some of these comments in the comment section, what they say, and I'll get some scriptures. This says, yeah, he was reading a book by Aldous Huxley, who was another insider. He controls the money and has all these assets, yet he's still lonely in a hole. Yeah, whatever. Sound like Agent Smith. Let's see. He just exposes the Matrix propaganda openly. This guy is an actor reading a poem, but if you change the name to Rothschild, you've got the real truth. There you go. Yes, exactly. The poem was written by Craig James Moncur, a Scottish actor. Tell me more. That's who wrote the skit. Probably true to some extent, but the man doesn't exist. People like him, but people like him do. He's actually telling the truth. Until the commoners wake up and stand together, then this continues. Their blood ain't blue either. It's called blue because it appears blue through pale skin, but they do own everything. That's true. In regards to blue blood, it's a metaphor for incestuous. They interbreed to preserve their money and power. Blue blood means that their blood stays in their veins, whilst peasant blood is spilled and therefore is red. Mad, I wonder when this was made. 2010, there you go. Thanks. Could someone please explain if this is based on a real character? I see only some people on Google with that name that were professors and not finance people. LOL, you think Google will really tell you the truth? Yeah, I doubt it too, and it's such a topic that which is considered taboo. I don't know myself, but like you said, the less I know, the better. So it might have been an anonymous name. It's Mike Davia. Okay. Nice, been looking for this forever. Check the book. Yeah, he's reading Aldous Huxley. Brave New World, yeah. So let's get some precepts on this. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, starting from verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. So this is David prophesying about the secret counsel of the wicked. Who are the wicked? Well, we know from Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 through 4, it establishes the fact that Esau is the wicked. So this is what David is outlining here, is the secret counsel of Esau, and he prophesied for the Lord to hide him from it, because that's what we're caught up in right now. We're caught up in the secret counsel of Esau and what he does to ensnare the people and keep them subservient under him, which is what that guy William Montague III was basically exposing with his own tongue as he's just sitting in that chair all smugly. Let's read this again. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot. Hold on a second. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. So that's exactly what this guy was doing. When he was sitting here all smugly in his chair, he was actually causing his own tongue to fall upon himself, because the power of these elites lies in their secrecy, in their hidden counsels, in their dark dealings. That's where Esau's power comes from. Secrecy, darkness, lies, wickedness, all of these things. But what we as the prophets are supposed to do is to shine a light on this world to illuminate their darkness, to expose their wicked deeds, their dark deeds, their secret counsels. And through exposing them, that's how we're tearing down their strongholds and their establishment through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and also the spirit of truth, which comes from these words from the Holy Scriptures that we're speaking. You know, the Holy Spirit moves us to speak these words of prophecy against our enemies and to tear down their kingdom spiritually. It's kind of like the situation with the walls of Jericho, where the Lord told us to compass the walls of Jericho. I think it was 7 times we walked around it, and then the Lord said, call all Israel to give a shout. And when we lifted up our voices and shouted, the walls of Jericho completely fell down. Well, it's no different to Esau's empire. See, what you don't see Esau's empire physically collapsing brick by brick physically right now. But if you're spiritual, you can see it's collapsing spiritually, because the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has re-entered into the spirit of the prophets, and then stood up on their feet as a great army, pertaining to Ezekiel 37, also pertaining to Revelation 11th chapter, and the scriptures say great fear fell upon those which saw them. So you can see the fear upon the faces of the regular, everyday Edomite when we're out there prophesying, when we hold our camp every week. But what you've got to remember is that behind the scenes, the elites are watching. The elites are watching, and they're quaking in their boots when they see the men of the Lord rising up the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and casting down their illusions, and, you know, shining light on their spiritual wickedness and tearing down their strongholds. They're in great fear too. So don't get it twisted. This guy is sitting here acting all smug and confident, but the elites aren't smug and confident at all. They're starting to feel the fear that they may not actually be able to fulfill their New World Order agenda. So they're scrambling, doing their best to fulfill it, but they ain't going to be able to achieve it. So it says, let's read this Psalm 64 and 8 again. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Yeah, so Esau hasn't won. You know, he's been given a short space for him to do his wickedness, and look, this guy's sitting all smug thinking that he's going to be ruling forever. Esau is not going to be ruling forever. He's at the end of his kingdom. So all that smugness is going to be wiped away, whether this guy's an actor or whether he's a legit, insider who knows the truth. Doesn't matter, because if he's an Edomite, he's at the end of his kingdom. I'll close out this one. This is 2nd Ezra 6. This has been coming out a lot recently, but it's all through the Spirit. 2nd Ezra 6, starting from verse 7. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're at the end of Esau's time, and we're entering into the beginning of Jacob, which is Israel's kingdom, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be on the earth, ruled by Yahushua himself. And under him you're going to have King David, and then the rest of the 12 disciples, then the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, then the rest of Israel under that. And we're going to be above all nations that are upon the face of the earth forever, ruling in righteousness. And Esau is going to be at the very bottom of all of that hierarchy for 1,000 years, paying back for all the wickedness that he has done on the earth for 1,000 years. Then it's going to be done away with. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give once again all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Wakakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.